Hello, White House, and welcome to White House History Wednesday. Now, cooking can be defined as the art and science of preparing food for eating by the application of heat. So, for cooking food, there always needs to be some type of heat source. We take it for granted today that when we are ready to prepare a cooked meal, all we have to do is turn a knob or press a few buttons and our heat source is ready in minutes. In homes in the mid-1800s to mid-1900s, the heat for cooking came from burning wood or coal. Therefore, a stove similar to this one would have been used. This meant much more time was involved in preparing your cooked meal. Now, back in that time, a day's routine would begin at the crack of dawn in order to get the fire started in the stove so that it would get hot enough to begin cooking. And oh, once the cooking began, the mouth-watering aroma of homemade biscuits, sizzling bacon, farm eggs, and freshly brewed coffee would fill the whole house. Since the biscuits took the longest to prepare and cook, they would be prepared first and placed in the oven in the bottom of the stove. After they were ready, they were placed in the upper part of the stove, which is the warming area. That meant there was always a warm biscuit for you to grab. So as you can see by the warming area's placement, the structure of the stove was important to grasp and understand. The warming area was not hot enough for cooking because of the distance from the fire source. This same concept would apply to the location of your pot or pan on the stove. Since there were no settings for the burners, the cook would learn which burners were better for boiling and which were better for simmering. The distribution of heat would be learned by the cook to perfect their cooking style. Every stove was different, so there was a learning curve for each one used. There were many stoves being made during that time. This particular stove was made by P&B Manufacturing Company out of Nashville. This company made cast iron wood-burning cook stoves with its name imprinted on it. They were produced from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. This particular stove was refurbished by Raymond Sanders of White House, Tennessee, and donated to the museum. I think it's time for me to go find a warm biscuit.